extended the suspension on passenger check-ins for Dubai departure until at least 9 a.m. on Thursday, which is today, as well, citing persistent operational difficulties stemming from adverse weather and road conditions, as stated on social media, which has been updated by the UAE carrier. Now, previously, we know that Emirates had declared the suspension of check-in services for Dubai departure until midnight on Wednesday. Travelers as well leaving Dubai were strongly advised against journeying to the airport before 9 a.m. unless they actually need to go to the airport. Emirates as well emphasized the importance for travelers to verify their booking timings and to refrain as well from heading to the airport if their booking falls before the specific time, as check-in services will not be available. Now, as well, customers were highly impacted by the flight cancellations, and they were actually urged to contact their booking agent or even visit the Emirates website, because passengers were arriving in Dubai already in transit, where will continue to be processed with their flights, and as well, customers were actually told that they should expect delays with departure and arrival timings, and they were advised as well to, as I've mentioned before, to check in the website or even call, like the airport, because it has happened to my sister. Once again, my cousin who was supposed to travel to London, there were flights that were allowed to actually go, but of course the priority was for people who were in transit. So this is like I would say such big news to everyone who had travel plans. Let us know, are you guys safe, are you not?
Yeah, I think no one expected it to continue over the last few days, and we just have to give a huge shout out to everyone at the airport, everyone who works crew, the people working in the airport, because even getting there is tricky, and that's why they've had to cancel some of the flights. DXB also, so we have flights suspended until 9 a.m. today, check-ins. That could change, so we're going to monitor that situation closely. But also what DXB have done is they've tried to do a Q&A of the most asked questions, because even looking at the live through now, so many questions are coming through. If anyone has answers to the questions coming through, can you please add them? Because even in terms of like road situation, everything is evolving as quickly as we put out information. So if you have answers on roads and you can help the audience, we'd really appreciate you doing that. But some of the most common questions coming through DXB. First of all, I have a flight schedule. Should I go to the airport? If you're traveling today, should you go? They say, please only come to the airport if your airline has confirmed the departure of your flight. So if you booked a ticket a couple of months ago, that does not mean you're getting on the flight today. Only go if you checked today and it's been confirmed. Other questions like, my flight has been diverted. How do I get to DXB? I checked in my bags, but my flight was rescheduled, cancelled. When will I get my bags back? They say their baggage handling operation has been disrupted due to the weather. We're working closely with our service partners and airlines to get your bags as soon as possible. The question on everyone's lips is DXB open? DXB is open, but with limited flights departing and arriving. We urge you not to come to the airport unless absolutely necessary. So please check. They're also talking about the food there. What is the service? Because the reality is, like, how are they getting food to the airport if people can't
100%.
use the roads? All the questions are answered there on the Twitter.
100%. We have a family friend who was supposed to travel yesterday, but got stuck on the way for literally 3 hours. And as he had reached, the flight was like taking so long to actually, because he had called, but no one has given him an answer. And then he had gone, he stayed for like 3 hours on the way. And not only did he stay for 3 hours on the way, he even, towards like the end, he stayed for 2 more hours in the airport, and he got really hungry and there was not enough food. So he just like had to, I would say, fill himself up with like chips and chocolate. And honestly, this is giving like COVID 2020 vibes. Even yesterday, the roads are really empty, but they are blocked and no one's allowed to actually cross certain roads. The metro was closed as well. My sister, which I've mentioned yesterday, she had a turnaround because she is cabin crew, but because of the weather conditions, they had switched it from being a turnaround, which means she goes and comes back, to a layover where she has to actually stay in the country. Of course, this is all for her safety. So as much as we are sad that she is not here, but we are happy that it's all the time better to be safe than sorry. And this is the situation. Even as I've mentioned yesterday, even my cousin was supposed to go back to London yesterday, but so far they have given the priority to the people who were in transit. So she was not able to travel. However, she's expecting to travel on Monday.
Well, like TBC, I just think, for example, for your cousin who went to the airport yesterday and had made the call but couldn't get through, we need to acknowledge what an extreme event this is. We saw more rainfall than we've seen ever in climatic history in this country. And although we know people are working 24-hour days, if the phone isn't answering, if the phone isn't picking up, it's probably a sign that your flight may not be going. And that's why the airline has said, do not travel. They use not in caps locks.
Yeah.
Do not travel to the airport unless your flight is confirmed online. And we just have to understand the ecosystems of like food at airports. How's the food coming into the airport if the flights aren't going? If the roads are blocked. I went to the supermarket last night and the fresh meat section was totally empty because understandably, how is the food getting to the supermarket? So as people, I think we have to do as best as we can. Government workers are staying at home. School workers are staying from home. I know some people are trying to get to work today because they're onshore. Don't leave unless you absolutely have to. It seems to be, we have some updates on the roads, but it seems to be the main roads are still mainly affected. Someone on Al Khail Road said today that people are standing on cars still. It's going to take more than a day or two to clean this. We have to trust in the system, trust that the authorities are doing the very best. But if the phone isn't picking up at the airport and you're not sure, your flight is not special. They're trying to get the transit people through first. Check-ins still aren't happening. So there's a big question mark over what's going to happen today with flights, but we just have to really trust that they're doing all that they can with the manpower that they can. And we just have to sit back and just deal with it as humans, like it sucks,